everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about why it is important to listen closely, especially when someone is talking to you. Of course, every day we do a lot of listening, whether we're listening to a video or listening to someone talk, or like even if you're at a class and you're listening to someone teach, you're not going to get the full lesson if you don't listen. You're not going to understand it as much if you don't listen. And if you don't listen closely and try to understand what the other person is talking about, you may miss the point. So if someone is, let's say, giving you an instruction, you have to pay attention closely, or else you will not get all of the instructions. There has been times with even myself, I would be given instructions and I would not, at the time I may have been distracted. So I would be listening to the person give me instructions, but at the same time I'm thinking about this, that, and the other, or someone is like bugging me. And so then I go in to do those instructions, I go in to complete it, and I'm like, okay, I got this, I did this. I'm missing something else, I'm forgetting about something. And so I'm just looking around trying to remember. I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to go back to this person and ask them, what did they say? That's embarrassing, right? When you should have listened the first time. You should have been listening closely the first time and you wouldn't have to go back to the person and get instructions. That's why it is important to listen closely, because you can miss so much, and this happens to people a lot and it shouldn't. There's like big things in the world that happen, like bad things too, that happen because somebody didn't follow instructions, didn't listen closely, and forgot part of what they were supposed to do, and something crazy happened in the result of it. So it's very important to listen closely, and this is how you can do it. If someone is talking to you, look at them and listen. Sometimes, like especially in a conversation, just a normal conversation, we're quick to butt in when you should have been listening. If you want to avoid what comes when you don't listen closely, just block out any noise. If you're getting instructions from someone or listening to a video, listen to someone talk or something like that, and you're supposed to listen closely, don't think about anything else. Just block out all the noise, concentrate on what you're listening to, so that other things can't distract you. Sometimes if you're listening to something that's probably boring, or in a conversation that you probably want to get over with, or you think is boring or something, and you let your mind just wander off, you start thinking about this and then you start looking away from the person, you're just like, then you're not gonna fully hear what they're trying to say, and then you could be seen as rude. You wouldn't want no one to do that to you. So if someone's talking to you, just listen closely. It's better, and chances are you're gonna have a better conversation. So if you want to listen closely, just look at what you're listening to, block out any extra noise and distractions, and just pay attention. And chances are you won't forget what you're listening to. If you become a listener, like really listening and paying attention at all times, if you're watching something, if you're just out in the world and you listen to your surroundings, listen to what's happening, then you'll feel like you know a lot more. You'll be more aware. Like, be aware of your surroundings. Let's say you're not talking to no one, you're not listening to anyone at the moment, and you're just doing what you're doing, but you hear other people in the background. If you're concentrating on what you're doing, but at the same time being aware of your surroundings, listening, and just seeing things, noticing things, then you'll find that things will become a lot more open. So let's say you're just in an environment and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, there's other people around too, and then something happened. You were in that environment, but if you're one of those people who's like, I wasn't paying attention, I didn't hear that person say that, so I really don't know. Of course you're not gonna know. But if you're aware of your surroundings, you listened, you saw things, you noticed things, like very observant, but still occupied and still concentrating on what you're doing at the same time, it's multitasking, and it's really helpful. If you become more used to listening closely, then you'll find that things will become more clear, and you'll find yourself getting less confused, because there's plenty of times where I'll be getting confused about something. I'm like, what are you talking about? The person was like, if you listen, you would know what I'm talking about, because I made myself very clear. Most of the time, even if the person wasn't as clear as you may have wanted them to be, if you're really listening closely, really seeing how they're saying what they're saying, you should understand. Think about it. Let's say someone did say something that you found kind of confusing, and you're like, hey, this person said this. What does he mean by that? So you mean this and that and the other? If you don't even have an idea of what the person could mean when they say a certain thing, then chances are you weren't listening closely. But if you at least have an idea, like, so you mean this, that, and the other? And the person be like, well, kind of, but this, that, and the other too. You're like, oh yeah, it makes a lot more sense, thank you. You see what I'm trying to say? There's many problems that come when you don't listen closely, and almost every human being struggle from these problems almost every day, or sometime in their life. They struggle from problems when you don't listen closely. A lot of these can be avoided. And first of all, you have to be aware that you have this problem. And of course, you're not going to get it right away. If you really think about it as being important, even when you're having one of the littlest conversations with someone, if you take even little scenarios serious, like if you're just having a normal conversation with your sister or a friend or something, it's really polite to listen closely, because if you're talking to someone, you would expect them to listen to you, right? Of course, if you see that they're not listening, then you're gonna be like, I'm talking to this person, they ain't listening to me. Like, you know it's important to listen closely, so listen closely when you're supposed to be listening to something. Just listen closely, and you'll find that you'll learn a lot more. You can avoid little situations, or you can avoid having people think a certain way about you. You can avoid embarrassment when you have to go back to a person and ask, what did you say again? You can avoid that by simply listening closely. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you all found it helpful, and feel free to give me ideas and topics that I can do videos on, and I'll try my best to do a good job on them. I'll try to be a lot more persistent with video uploads. I know sometimes it takes me a whole month to finally do another video. I want to try to be a lot more persistent and even have a specific date that I may upload. So until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share, and like. Thanks for watching.